Etsy News, your place for what's been happening this week. And this week there was big changes in what's been happening on Etsy this week, I should say. And this week, big news because the Q3 financial results were out. What did the market make of this? And also the latest adverts from Etsy. Etsy are doing loans again. And hopefully a update at the end if you stay tuned. But let's dig into this. Right, so I'm going to start with this again, loans again. This isn't as bad. Etsy have done this a few years. One of the worst things was in the middle of the Etsy reserve scandal, where Etsy was taking hold of people's money, big reserves up to like 75% or basically all of the seller's income. They were holding on to that until the seller jumped through a few hoops for them. And then Etsy partnered to give them loans so they could get some money. But they already had the money that had made in the sales. But now this year, the people are still on reserve, but it's a little better than what it used to be. So hopefully this isn't hated so much. But Etsy have partnered with ULend to help get additional funding ahead of the holiday season. So this is for US sellers only just now. UK and European sellers are coming in the future to get a boost of money to get into the holiday season. I am not madly keen on this. I get a loan can really help people if you need to buy loads of things in preparation for the holidays. Firstly, the holiday season really should have started, but it hasn't. It's a really late holiday season, and lots of people are reporting things are down. They're struggling. So I'm a little concerned. The people that really need the money are potentially not going to be people that are going to have massive sales. The thing is, the last couple of months of the year are always the biggest on Etsy, but they're also the biggest. The people who've already been making big sales have that shop quality score, have the listing quality score. They're in a good place. Etsy knows and trusts them and is going to show them more. So if you've been doing really well, your chances of a great Christmas season are great, so you probably don't need a loan. If you've not been doing great, there's every chance that the Christmas season will hopefully be better than most of the rest of the year, but you've got no way of predicting how good it'll be. I predict this Christmas season, and even Etsy's mentioning it, it's going to be a short season. People aren't really starting buying yet. So there's a very good chance we're going to get to Cyber Week. People are going to buy like crazy for a week. And then most of us are going to have to stop shipping because it's too close to Christmas. So it's probably going to be a very short, scary season for most of us. And in some ways, that's good because the really big shops might not be able to keep up demand, or they might have to shut down early, to deal with the level of sales they're getting. So there might be crumbs for the rest of us. But I am concerned that the people being offered the loan, the people who are tempted to take up the loan, potentially might not get the sales to be able to pay off the loan. There are obviously conditions. You have to have had made certain number of sales to be able to prove that you're a decent shop kind of thing, but I'm not a fan of this. I know it can help many people, but the problem is with Etsy sellers, although we're running our own businesses, most of us are not very good business people, and there's no way of predicting how your shop's going to go. So taking out debt, although it might help you, it might very much not help you. So buyer beware there. This is debt. New advert was out. They were mentioning this in the quarterly report. They were all excited about it. I'm definitely not as offended by this. There's some really good bits in it. There's a couple of adverts, but the big one that's been seen is the Waldo one. For anyone who missed it during your childhood, or I think there's been a series about it, but there was always books of Where's Waldo, which you'd see lots and lots of people and this guy in his stripy top and things for kids to go, oh, there he is, just to spot. It was a fun little game, so there's a bit of nostalgia there, so I like that. There's people, this guy Waldo walking around the streets, and people are able to spot him and go, there he is. So it's a bit of fun, a bit of nostalgia. Don't hate that. It was what I also really like is in many countries, including the UK, he wasn't Waldo, he was Wally. So it's where's Wally, and they included that. Some of the people seeing him would go, it's Waldo, and others would go, it's Wally. Hey, are you Wally? And that was cute. And the whole premise of it is at the end when he comes home, his friend has bought him a gift. Rather than where's Waldo, they're talking about who is he. And the whole idea is the gifts are, you're able to find a thing that people are about to open and go, wow, you really get me, basically. So rather than where is he, who is he? It's all right. I think is it the best advert in the whole world? No. Is it better than a lot of Eatsy's adverts? Yes. And it'll have people talking about it. I can't see much negative. You either won't care about it, or you'll be like, hey, it's the where's Wally, where's Waldo Eatsy advert. Yeah, fair enough. Taps into our childhood. Didn't hate it. So, as I said, myself and my friend Brian went through the Q3 financial results on Thursday, so you can go back and check that if you want a more in-depth, but I'll just drop out. Here's my famous graphs that I make every quarter from what we're getting. If you haven't seen this one before, the orange line is the revenue in millions. That's how much money Eatsy's made. And the blue line is the GMS. That's how much Etsy sellers have sold, and that's in billions. So it's not the same scale, but it just compares them side by side. And we can see with the blue line, this quarter has definitely been the lowest Etsy has seen since the start of the pandemic, really. But it's also significantly higher than it was pre-pandemic. So there. And here's the other two graphs. The one on the left is the ratio of buyers to sellers. The one on the right is GMS per seller. So that's like the average of what you can make. With both of these graphs, we want higher the better. You want more buyers to Etsy, a better ratio of buyers per seller, and you want to be able to get more money per seller. So I think anyone, even if you're not a big deal on graphs, you can see since, what's that, 2021, definitely there's been a step change in the less good direction. It took a dip about the beginning of this year. It took its biggest dip. It's sort of recovering, but if you're struggling, there is more sellers. There's more buyers, but there's more sellers. The ratio is less good than it has been in a very long time. And the GMS per quarter, basically the average a seller can be making is under $400 per quarter, under $400 per 3-month period. So yeah, things aren't amazing. At the start of the pandemic, it was more than double that. So things have definitely changed. What the market thought, though, how did the shares go? So I've pulled up the 1 month, and prior to the investor report, there's always a dip. The market speculates a bit, but I would say that has definitely recovered to $52 per share. So the market didn't hate it. We'll go into that a wee bit more. Here we have what's in the news, what the media has been talking about. This gives us an idea of where everything is. There's some media happy with the Where Waldos. They're understanding the message. I get you gifts. Who's Waldo instead of where's Waldo? That's nice. And yeah, the financial ones, everyone's mainly people are pretty positive. Modern Retail saying Etsy posts solid growth. That's because its revenue went up. Market Beat is saying Deutsche Bank has increased for Etsy, saying the shares are at a hold rating. Yahoo's saying revenue beat expectations, but Wells Fargo cuts Etsy price from $47 to $44 and set an underweight rating. I am not a stocks expert, but basically they're kind of saying, some are saying it's up a wee bit, some are saying it's down a wee bit, but it's not hated. And the holiday trend report is out. I will be going through that in a couple of days if you're interested. But the holiday trend insights, and we will be digging into what Etsy's numbers they're coming up with. But the themes, I'm loving these: mythical, medieval, pastoral prince, chromus, and a charmed life are some of the ideas that Etsy are showing us. So, yep. As ever, it's a bit of a mix. The chromus, I'm seeing sort of clean and minimalist, but mythical medieval, bit more old school and cluttered, the same pastoral prince. And charms seem to be back again, but I will dig into what that really means later. Anyway, pup date, as I promised you. So what has baby Brooch been doing? If you haven't been here before, I got a puppy a month ago and you guys seem to love him. I love him. So yes, it's been Halloween. He was out playing with some trick-or-treaters. Absolutely loved it. Had a day at the beach. He's so little we can't walk him very far, but he did have his first experience on a proper beach. We walked down to the water, he played about in the sand, he pounced on some seaweed. He had a great time. Also, in the UK, in many places, you are allowed to take dogs into cafes and bars. So we've had him in some cafes and some bars while we ate some food, had some coffee, and he was a little superstar. It seems to be only in the house that he's a little Tasmanian devil running around the place chewing up everything, but we're working on calm. And this coming week, he starts puppy classes, so I'm excited to see how that goes. Anyway, thank you so much for joining, and I will see you next week. And if I missed anything, as ever, let me know. I am distracted with puppy.